So I think I got everything ready. Control box, I got these support brackets for the bumper, bolts for them, instructions, wire up the winch, trim for the bumper, winch bolts, winch is here, got the ferro lead and the license plate mount. So I think we're all ready to go for tomorrow. It's supposed to be like the last good warmish day of the year. Well, I guess tomorrow is December 30th, so I guess it is almost the last day of the year, but yeah, I think I'm going to do that tomorrow, even though I can't put the light bar on. I think I can get it in later. So, also I ordered a new grill for this too, which has Raptor lights in here too. It says Toyota, not the badge, so that'll be going on. Yeah, I really want to go in here one day and rewire all this stuff. It's kind of messy. Be nice to just do all the right, like, you know, all 16 gauge or whatever. Just redo all that someday too. So there you have it. I'll come back tomorrow and put it in, I think, or whenever it's warm. Well, today's the day I put my new bumper and winch on my Tacoma. Start by taking off the license plate, that stuff. Take the grill off, and we'll start working on cutting this stuff here. So yeah, it should be interesting. New grill should be here today too, so that'll be cool to put on. Couple 12 millimeters. Couple clips. Okay. Clip here, and the sensor here. I think this is for the front collision, whatever sensor thing. This thing's apart, man. I'll show you. I think this just kind of pulls out then. Alright, that was really easy actually. Okay. Got my sweet woolly mammoth license plate. Tens. Yeah. That won't be going back on. I think this plastic piece is just held on by clips. That's what it seems like so far. There it goes. So, something like that. So, then there's these little tabs on this metal thing, and push those in, and once in a while there's another tab, pull that out, push that down, this one goes in, another one's on the bottom too. Crash beam plastic thing. Not sure. And so here's the bumper like crash beam thing. 3 bolts in here. Looks like they're probably guessing 14. Oh, this one's tight. Oh. That bolt. There's a bolt on the bumper in the corner here. 10 millimeter. That's just gonna come out. I think that's what that attaches to. Yep. Okay. So 10 millimeter, both sides. Kind of see if I can get that in here. Show what I'm talking about. This one, right there. That's what I'm talking about. So inside here, there's this bracket on here yet. What you want to do is just take, so I'm holding all 3 things at the same time. Take a long pry thing, go underneath between the plastic and the metal. Just kind of twist it. There's a clip in there, orange clip that you have to get out. So that's how you do that, both sides. Then you should be able to get this bumper out. 2 10 millimeters, middle. Then should be able to manual this thing out here. There you go. Put the tab out of the way, and there she is. Just gonna take my tool hooks off that I had on here. 17 millimeter. There's 2 off. So I gotta tape this. You use 1-inch masking tape. Stuff in the middle and just go right along this top edge here. Just go right along there, as you see. Right on the top edge. Kind of curves a little bit. Okay, and then follow it all the way down. And keep following it down this edge too. And then I think I'm just going to cut this whole thing off on the bottom here. You can see that. I'm going to cut on top of this line. Top of here. Follow it all the way into here. And follow that edge all the way to the back. Okay, but before you do that, I was told that you need to go inside of this line 1/4 inch. So you start at the top here, right where it kind of bends down here, and then follow this 1/4 inch something like this, just so it's a little bit inside here, like that. Something like that, I think. Trace that out, so I'm just going to go from the top of this corner here. Just kind of come up like this. And just trace this line all the way down. And then you'll continue once you get down this far. What I'm just going to do is cut it like that. Kind of line up with this line here. Okay, 1/4 inch, that's something like that. Okay, got that all traced out, then you can go to the next one. So here in the bottom here, there's a bolt hole. They actually have a bracket for that, so you want to keep that on there. So just follow this line down, kind of go on the back side of it to cut off. Leave that bolt hole on the bumper. Got my Dremel out, ready to start cutting. Just cut on the top side of this piece of masking tape. Work your way around each way, and yeah, see how it goes. Well, that's half of it. Couple spots here. There. There you have it. Right in the by my nose. Ooh, that is dirty. I got black stuff all over, melting in my hair. Alright. Clean this up with a file or something and we'll be looking pretty good. Clean this edge up with a file and kind of break off all the melted stuff. Actually, I'm going to go through and just clean off all this melted stuff first, I think, and then go over the file. I think I'm liking that. Okay, it's all sanded. Clean it up a little bit better. Okay. Beautiful. Bumper mounts on here. 3 bolts, 14 millimeters. Take those off. And actually, I think this whole thing could have been cut before I took any of the other stuff off. Like before I took the inner bumper off and all that stuff. Something to think about, I guess. So, got this trim piece, kind of fold in half in the middle here, and I like to put, you can kind of see there's a thinner side and a thicker side. I think I'll put the thinner side out. This is the center, push it on here, and just work it all the way. Should stay on pretty good, I think. Is on. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to set the bumper up in there and see how it fits. I got some bumper support brackets that have to go in there somehow. So to figure out how that's gonna work. Okay, let's see how this works. So it looks like I got to trim off these here. It's gonna have to get cut. No big deal on each side, and then we'll see how it looks. All right, let's see how it fits now. Go left a little bit, I think. It's not too bad. So now I gotta see if I can fit the winch in here. And by the looks of it, I think I have to move this power steering cooler out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna measure it. See how it looks. I think that's what people always do, is just bend it out of the way a little bit. Shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, let's just measure some stuff quick. So, Southern Style Offroad Bumper here. Putting in a X-Bull Winch. Now these bolts are going to be really hard to tighten up because there's no hole in the bottom. So we'll see how that goes. Back two will be fine, but these front two, that's going to be a problem. Alright, we'll see. Well, I got enough bolts started, I think. Nope, I didn't. That could be fun. Okay, anyway. Do I want that there? Probably not. So I had to rotate this thing, the lever. So you gotta take out the two bolts that hold this together. Right here, which are go through here. This part comes off. And there's 8 bolts on the inside of here you gotta take out, and then you can rotate it wherever you want. There's a little bit of a shim on the inside of this, so make sure that goes in, make sure the seal stays on here, you know, make sure it all gets bolted back in right. So that's how you rotate that. And then we're gonna try to get this bolted in here, which is looking really not very fun to get my hands in there. So that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. So after rotating this lever 3 times, finally figured out that the only place it'll work is if it's like just barely disengaged. It just has to be in this one spot, and I can reach through and rotate it, and then it won't go all the way down, but it's still disengaged. And I'm just connecting all these colored wires in here. So yellow, red, black, and there's a black on the bottom. The black bottom one is the goes from the small ground, and then it goes to the battery, this bigger one. And I gotta connect the red, black, and yellow onto the here from the charge controller box. Which actually I'm glad I put super glue on those, because I didn't have to take the cover off. So that worked pretty slick. Sweet fold up license plate holder. Hopefully that'll be alright. Pretty sweet though. I mean, I had to get it, I just got new license plates. Sweet, that's cool. So I got these two brackets that are supposed to be for the plastic bumper support or something, and I'm not sure what this is even for. But it doesn't really line up with anything. Like I see two bolt holes in here, but it doesn't really, it's close, but it doesn't really line up with this hole here. So I just took the bolt and tightened it up. It's not going to go anywhere. I mean, unless you hit something really bad, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. And also with these bumper support brackets, you're supposed to put them in between, like between the bolt or the nut and the bracket for the bumper, but that's not going to fit. There's not enough threads on there, so not really sure what to do about that. That's not going to work. So since this is all on now, as far as I can tell, I'm going to start running these power wires. Power up to the battery, ground to the battery. Put a rubber grommet in this hole here. Put them through. I'm just going to put some of this plastic conduit stuff on. Protect it a little bit. So here's a finished product here. Zip tied up all in here. Grommet I made. Fall network or whatever. And I just zip tie it up onto this battery. Hold down, kind of around here, into there. I really want to redo all this stuff someday. So all this stuff might change eventually too. Let's see if the winch works. Ah, it's not engaged. There we go.